Hi, my beautiful friends. Welcome to my channel, Tropical Empress in Spirit. My name is Amanda. Hello. I hope you all are doing well. If you're new here, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. I love having you all here, and thank you for your love and support. I wanted to talk to you today about clairvoyance, which is a type of psychic ability, and specifically I wanted to talk to you about spirit orbs. As you know, over the years, it seems like from social media, different platforms, and even talking to other people, there's a lot of interest in spirit orbs and, wanting to know what they are and so on. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about that and, share with you a couple of my experiences that I've had over the years, and hope that maybe something in here resonates, or it confirms or can clarify any questions you have, concerns, whatever. So I hope you stick around and listen to this. So I want to tell you about when, after I turned 14, and I had had a conversation with my grandma, and we talked about it, and she told me what spirit orbs were, and that she saw them too. And then going into my later years, after I kind of like had a profound experience, which is in a prior video, you have to go back and watch that if you're interested. But it started like in my early 20s. I noticed that I would just see more different colors, and it kind of threw me off, because what I learned is spirit orbs is like a deceased spirit, like your loved ones, friends and family, or it can be a spirit guide or even a guardian angel. That's how like their energy enters into our world, and they kind of move around and are able to visit with us, and some of us are able to see them, and even some of us can also see them in a full body apparition, which I have also experienced too. But when I started dating my husband, I was 20 years old when I met him, and I started to notice that the more I was around him, I was seeing more spirit orbs, like multiple times a day. And I noticed that I was starting to see them in like colors, like blue, purple, and so on. And it just kind of confused me, and I didn't understand. It's like, what's going on here? And periodically when I was with him, I would, see one go by and, just watch it and then let it disappear. But I wouldn't say anything to my husband about it. And, there's reasons for that I'll share in another video. But it just, I didn't understand. And I almost felt like, did I do something wrong? What's going on here? This is different to me. This is all new, different, because not only were they in different colors now, I was seeing them in more colors, but I also noticed they were coming in closer to me. Like, instead of me just seeing them out of the corner of my eye, I would notice they would appear right in front of my eyes, far off in a distance, or I've even had them get really up close to my eyes, to my face, which, kind of startled me too at times. But, I knew it was good, but it just, because you weren't expecting something like that to happen, it would just kind of throw me off. But, I even, when I learned that, what spirit orbs are, over the years, I just, I felt like, well, being told that, these are, passed over loved ones, your guardian angels, spirit guides, and so on. I didn't understand, it's like, how are they just like this ball of light, and if that's really them, how come I'm not hearing, anyone's voice? Why are they not talking to me? I'm confused, So I even had my doubts about, are these really like spirits of, your loved ones and so forth? Well, there was one day I was at home, I was in the bedroom, and I was sitting up, and I was writing something, or I was watching something on, my computer. It was something like that. And suddenly, a fiery color, reddish orange orb, spirit orb appeared. And it appeared like right above me. And it was just kind of like hovering, and I caught it out of the corner of my eye, and I just, I just look up at it, and I'm just kind of watching it, it's like, okay, this is new, like just trying to figure out, like, who are you, And, you know, I just sat there and it's like I figured as soon as I looked up, it would disappear. Well, that didn't happen. And what happened would, you know, be more beautiful than I could ever even have imagined it being, you know. At least for me, you know, having, you know, already seen spirit orbs over the years, and this one particular event would be very different this time. So, you know, I just thought it would go away and I just kind of ignored it. And, you know, I went back to what I was doing. And then, you know, I felt like a warm sensation on like the tip of my head right here, you know, and I looked up and I saw the orb was right here. And it was like it was touching me and it was warm. And then I just kind of looked at it and I go back like this, like, you know, because it startled me again and trying to figure out, you know, what is this? Why am I feeling this warm sensation? And so when I, you know, leaned my head back and looked up at it again, I then hear, "Hey Lala, I love you." And I was like, huh? What? Grams? And it was my grandma, my maternal grandmother. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. This is real. Like, you know, yeah, you know, all my doubts had suddenly went away when I heard her voice from that orb. So I knew, okay, without a shadow of a doubt, that spirit orbs are actual energy of, you know, our loved ones and so forth, you know. So, you know, and quickly after that, it disappeared, you know. And it was beautiful. You know, I cherish it, you know. I often think about that event because it changed my mindset, my perspective of, you know, it, you know, put away all those doubts I had before and allowed me to say, okay, Amanda, you know, yes, these are real, you know, spirits of people and so on. And, you know, and then after that event, um, because of, you know, the different colors and even, you know, they would appear like as tiny as a breadcrumb, you know, they would appear and disappear, but then I've seen them as big as like a beach ball. And, you know, and I didn't understand why, you know, why the different, you know, sizes and colors and, you know, like, still, what's going on, you know. So I went to get my hair cut one day. I went to saw my hairstylist, and, you know, we were just talking as, you know, he's trimming my hair, and then he also cut my husband's hair. And he started talking to me about, you know, one of his clients had just left, and she just so happens to be psychic. That he was telling me how she's able to, like, know things about him that's going on, even if she hasn't talked to him or seen him in a while. You know, like, she knew at that point, like, he was having some health problems, and I even think he was having problems with, like, his partner. You know, he was gay, you know. So, and I was intrigued, you know, and I just decided, okay, you know, I decided to tell my, you know, hairdresser about my own experiences and, you know, fill them in a little bit, and, you know, how I've been experiencing all these different things over the years, and now suddenly things are changing, like, what's going on? You know, I'm confused. I'm scared to a point. I don't understand, you know, what am I supposed to do with all of this, you know. And he was intrigued by, you know, what I had to say, and it caught his interest, and, you know, and he believed what I was telling him, and he's like, you know what, you know, I'll give her a call and see if she will talk to you, you know. She might, you know, want to talk to you, you know. She's that type of person who likes to help people and so forth. And I told him, said that would be great. I would greatly appreciate it, because I need some guidance here, because I don't know what's going on with me, you know, right now. And so he's like, sure, you know. And he ended up calling me, I think it was later on that day, and said he did talk to her, and she said yes for me to call her, and gave me her number. And I was so relieved. I said, oh, thank you, God, you know. So I decided, you know, I'd wait a day or two. You know, I just didn't want to just jump in and, you know, bother her. You know, I'd give her a couple of days and then call her. So I waited a few days, and I finally, you know, picked up the phone and dialed her number, and, you know, talked to her. Very nice, you know, very beautiful soul. Generous with her time with me. Very loving, just a giving person, just a beautiful, bright soul. And I connected to her right away. And so I started to tell her about some of the experiences I was having. You know, I told her about the different color orbs, and told her about, you know, hearing voices every once in a while, or knowing things and so forth. And I'm just lost, you know. It's like things have just kind of rapidly evolved and grew and like even strengthened, you could say. So what is this? You know, what am I dealing with here? You know, what am I supposed to do? You know, so she told me, she's like, yes, those are, you know, spirits, and they're trying to connect with you, and you're able to see them. And I'm like, okay, I understand that. I said, but well, why is it that I'm mostly only seeing spirit orbs and not actually seeing full body apparitions? She's like, well, you know, you got to kind of maybe focus and tune in and ground yourself. And, you know, after time, you know, if you focus and, you know, see one, you know, try and focus in on seeing if you can see what that orb is, who it is, you know. And I said, okay. And I also sent her a couple of pictures that I had of orbs I took that just happened to be pictures I was taking. And there was one particular picture that had like smoke in it. And it was weird, you know. I'm like, what is this smoke? You know, it wasn't there when I took the picture, but here it is in that picture. And so she's like, well, go ahead and send it to me. I'll take a look at it. So I said, okay. And she ended up calling me back and, you know, told me, she's like, yeah, you have a portal in your house. I'm like, what? She's like, no, don't be scared. She's like, you know, what you need to understand is that you are gifted. You do have psychic abilities. You have the sight to see, hear, feel, know, and so forth. And she said, because you are psychic and you're clairvoyant, there's a portal in your house that, you know, it's not like someone put it there, you know, or any kind of witchcraft or anything like that was going on. She's like, it was already there because of you being psychic and open. You know, that's how spirits come through, and they're coming through that portal and, you know, visiting with you, and, you know, maybe even trying to get your help and so on, you know. And I'm like, okay, you know, I didn't know what to think, you know. Okay, I got a portal in my house, like, what am I supposed to do with this, you know? And she's like, well, you can, you know, choose to close the portal and, you know, seal it so nothing could come through. But if you keep it open, she's like, just understand that it's not just going to be good spirits that can come through. There will also be evil spirits. And I'm like, oh no, I don't know if I want to do this now, you know. And she's like, but, you know, just, you know, focus on your gift. If this is something you want, you know, just let them know, you know, talk to them, tell them, you know, okay, you know, what messages do you have? What do you need to tell me or show me? And she's like, but if you don't want to experience this anymore, she said, just tell them, you know, I'm sorry, you know, I don't want to deal with this. Can you please leave me alone? She said, and they will leave you alone, you know. And that possibly later, if I ever wanted to open up, that I can call on them and they would then start appearing again, and, you know, I can start developing more and learning and so forth, you know. But it was up to me. So I greatly appreciated her help, you know. I needed that. I needed to talk to someone who understood, who is like me, who can kind of give me some guidance and mentor me in the right direction of what I'm supposed to do, and, you know, all the things I'm experiencing, you know. And so after that, you know, I decided, okay, I'm gonna be more open, willing, you know. I'm not gonna be afraid, you know, if something happens, you know. I'll try and, you know, acknowledge them and, you know, whatever. And so it rapidly, you know, kind of exploded, and I was seeing more and more orbs, and I was seeing multiple times a day. I would even see clusters of them. I've seen them not just in different colors, but I've seen them in different shapes too. Like, when you think of a spirit orb, you think of like a round circle or like a spear, like a ball of light. But I've seen them in every, you know, most geometrical shapes. And I've seen like different signs and symbols that, you know, I later would come to understand what those things are, and I'll share in a, you know, future video. And I drew some of them down so, you know, I can show you some of the things I've seen to give you a visual image. But it just, it was interesting for me. It was an interesting time that, you know, even though, yeah, I was open, but I was still a little hesitant of it. But, you know, all these, you know, spirits and, you know, guides and all that were appearing and showing themselves to me and letting me know that they were there, and, you know, I can call on them and talk to them and whatever. And so, but, you know, the occasional times that I've had a negative or evil spirit appear, you know, in brown or black, I'd always just call on God and ask for protection and rebuke it in Jesus' name, and it would disappear, and then a couple of spirit orbs would appear in like gold, blue, purple, to let me know they were there, and, then I wouldn't feel the spirit anymore, that evil spirit, because that, bad feeling I would get along with seeing the spirit orbs would go away, so I felt safe, and I occasionally would learn, I would get different feelings at different times when some of the spirit orbs would appear. And, every now and then I will hear a voice. It doesn't happen often unless I try and focus and tune in. But I did have an interesting experience the beginning of this year, back in February. I had rotator cuff repair surgery. And I was scared at first. I didn't want to have surgery because my in-laws had told me a story about one of their relatives had some kind of knee surgery, and they had a heart murmur and they almost died because of the surgery. So something happened, and I didn't quite understand what it was, but they wanted to let me know that because I too have a heart murmur. So I was scared, and I'm just like, I don't know if I want to do this. I don't know if I want to have this surgery now. I'm scared I'm going to die. Something bad's going to happen to me. But I knew I had to have my shoulder fixed too, because it's in my dominant arm. And there's a lot of things that it's restricting me from being able to do because I tore my, rotator cuff. So even though I was hesitant and scared to have a surgery, I was even talking to my parents and all that. It's like, I'm scared, please watch over me. Don't let anything happen to me, that kind of thing. So, the morning of my surgery, I said a prayer before I went to the hospital, and then I was in the pre-op, and they were prepping me and everything, and I rolled into the operating room, and I see that, they put a mask over my face and tell me to breathe and focus on that. And as I'm kind of breathing, I'm looking around, I could see, all the people that were going to be in the operating room with me that are going to help, nurses, surgical techs and so forth. And as they're over there, like in one corner, it seemed like to the left of me, I heard a voice to the right of me, and I recognized it. I'm like, okay, I know I heard a voice, but, I looked up and looked around, but I didn't see anything. And I'm like, okay, maybe I'm just imagining things, I didn't know. But right after, I went to sleep. And when I woke up in recovery, and the nurse, after she was talking to me and trying to get me to eat and drink something, I looked around, just hoping I would hear that voice again. But unfortunately, I didn't, at least not there. Then they released me to go home that day. So I go, my husband takes me to my stepdaughter's house because she lives close to the hospital where I was having surgery at, and we were going to stay a couple of days there to allow me to recover and, all that for a couple of days. Not be rushed home because it's a 2-hour drive for us. And so I went downstairs into the basement where, the guest room is, and crawled in bed and, was going to go to sleep. But, I laid in bed and I'm wide awake. I can't, fall asleep. I'm wide awake, staring up at the ceiling, and I'm also not comfortable. Like, I was very uncomfortable because not only was my arm up in a brace like this, but I couldn't feel my arm at all because the anesthesiologist gave me a nerve block to numb my whole entire arm, including my hand. So that felt weird. It was very uncomfortable. So I'm just laying there, just kind of staring at the ceiling, like waiting for the time to go by, maybe just still scared that something bad's going to happen, all that. But a couple minutes later, as I'm kind of like tossing and turning, trying to find where I can be comfortable, forgetting that I just had surgery and my arm's in a sling, and I was going to go and turn over on the right side of me, which would end up laying on my shoulder I just had surgery on that I'm not supposed to do. And as soon as I turn over and look at my right, I see 2 blue spirit orbs appear together, and then I heard, baby, it's okay, go to sleep. You're going to be okay. And I'm like, Mama? Mama, is that you? And she just said, yes, baby. And I was like, oh my gosh, here it's happening again. You know, these spirit orbs now are talking to me again. And here it is my mom. I can hear her voice and feel her energy. So I knew it was her. And I just told her I loved her and thank you for watching out for me. And I eventually did go to sleep. So it was comforting. It was great to hear her voice again, and just to know that, she's still around. And I know the other orb was my stepfather, so they're together in heaven, and, so they're both watching over me. So it was a nice feeling. And so it was, so comforting that I knew then I was going to be okay and go to sleep. And so those are just a couple of the experiences I've had that, I just want to talk to you about and, share some of those experiences. And, I have so many more that I can share about spirit orbs by itself. I could write a book. But it would be like a several-hour video if I were to do it all at once. So I'm gonna have to do it in pieces, but I will make more, videos in the future talking about spirit orbs and the different things I've experienced and show you some of them. And, once I move into my new house and get things unboxed, hopefully I'll be able to find some pictures where I can show you where I've even caught some of them on camera. And so, but I just want to share that with you today. I know people have questions, and there's a lot of you out there who are curious about it or just wondering, what is it? And, is it something to be worried about or be afraid of? And my answer to you is, in general, no. You don't need to be afraid of it. If it's, any bright colors like that, what I described, just think of the rainbow. Those are all good energies, and, you can talk to them if you feel comfortable. But the ones that I would avoid, if you ever see, are black and brown. Those are the ones that you want out of your house or your environment ASAP. And so I would just suggest try and, ask your guides or whoever to get rid of it. So, but I hope this helps. I hope this, helps some of y'all out there, to kind of understand about questions and, what it is and so forth. So, but I will, make more videos in the future about this and, share many more of my experiences from the past that I've had that are just unique experiences dealing with spirit orbs, and what, in the future when I continue to have more of these experiences, and if there's something unique or different about it, I'll create a video and share this with you. So I hope this helps, and, what, I've had to share with you today resonates with you in some way or helps to confirm, some of your feelings, your thoughts, or your experiences you have. And I hope, you can find some peace and comfort in knowing this and hearing this from someone else who also has had these experiences. So I hope that you are doing well. I wish you many blessings and much love and happiness. And I hope that you'll continue, seeing, my videos and stick around. So if any of my videos, my content resonates with you, or my energy resonates with you in some way, I hope you'll consider subscribing and hit that bell to where you'll get all my content when I upload videos in the future. And so, and I hope to hear from you, and I would greatly love it if you'd leave me a comment just to let me know your thoughts on this, if you've had these experiences, and any questions you may have. I will try my best to answer them, if possible. So I wish you much love, many blessings, and have a awesome, beautiful day. Until next time.